What's up, book babes? Get comfy, get cozy. It's time to chill. I'm Cassie.
And I'm Emily, and this is Book Bits and Chill, the podcast where we break down every chapter, thirst over fictional men, and never take ourselves too seriously. Today, we are getting into our final recap of Night in the Moth by Rachel Gillig, and we have some fun things planned for you. So we're going to give you a quick recap of what happened, just to give you a little taste if you've already read it, and then we're going to get into our book wrap-up awards. Who was the MVP? What was the best line? Which omen are we beating in battle? And then we'll get into our favorite section, Bits of the Week, where we have freeform discussion like BFFs. Our final segment to wrap things up will give you a rate of what we thought the book was on spice, romance, plot twists, our overall rating, our final fan cast, and who we would recommend this book to. So let's get into it, Cass.
Buckle up, people. Holy cow, we got a lot to talk about. Okay, so quick recap of what happened in this glorious, glorious book. So we essentially are thrown into the world of the Stonewater Kingdom, and there are these things called diviners that live in a looming cathedral over the kingdom, who are essentially tasked with drowning for to dream about the omens that are these like magical beings or gods in this kingdom, and how they either favor or don't favor the people that they're dreaming for. And so our main character's name is Six. She's the sixth diviner, but we also learn that her name is actually Sybil Delling. And we follow her journey and essentially starting to uncover and unravel secrets about not just the cathedral, but also the magical beings that she has worshipped her entire life, the magic items that they use to make all of their magical things happen, all of that good stuff. Make all their magical things happen. How many times can I say magic in the next 3 minutes? And we are joined by a very broody, hot-ass knight named Rory, who helps her uncover all of these secrets. And her little sidekick is a gargoyle whose name is Bartholomew. We won't tell you why. And Rory, Sybil, and the gargoyle essentially go on these journeys to kill the omens, to take back the magic, take back the kingdom, put it under a rightful seat, and we end the book with a big twist that we also won't reveal here. You can go back and listen to those episodes. But a lot happened, and essentially there's just constant themes of power struggles, of cursed kingdoms and kings, and of identity crises and found family, and all of the things wrapped up into one just amazing book. Did I miss anything, Emily?
Munchausen. There's also a Munchausen by proxy for those that love.
Big storyline that Emily loves to talk about. And again, if you would like to hear more about that, please go back into our previous episodes. But if you have not read this book, we will try to keep as much as possible as spoiler-free as possible of the big stuff. Can't promise.
Probably not going to happen. Okay. Welcome to the Book Wrap-Up Awards, Cassie. You get a front seat, you get a spotlight, you get a microphone, and we are going to kick things off.
Is this your audition for Wheel of Fortune? What's happening?
Yes, everything in my life is an audition for Wheel of Fortune.
That's true.
Like you mentioned in your recap, we get shown the Stonewater Kingdom, all of its villages, all of its hamlets, and everybody involved. And there is wonderful world building done by Miss Rachel Gillig. So,
yes.
First ward we have up. Best setting in the story, best hamlet, the best world built. So I'm going to let you have your nomination, and I'm going to have mine, but then we have to come to a consensus.
Oh, this is hard. There were so many good ones. Yeah. I think that the best one for me was when they were in the I don't remember the area that it was called, but when they were in the area where the Heartsore Weaver was, and when they were trying to find this Heartsore Weaver, that whole area, just with the like cliffs of, I think they're called Brisbane, and then the actual cave that they went into to find the Weaver. I just thought that was all crafted so beautifully, and I could just literally visualize all of it in my brain so crystal clear that
it's true.
I think that takes the cake for me by far.
It was literally like the cliffs of Moher. Is that how they say it in Ireland?
I actually have never known. Like, is it Moher? Is it more? I have no idea.
We won't fake it. We will not fake it, but the people of Ireland can tell us. And, or like watching Outlander, or what's that show we watch, Cassie? Poldark.
Poldark. It's literally a scene from Poldark when she's standing on that cliff, letting her shroud go into the wind. I was like, oh my god, this could be in any historical fiction show. Like, literally insert it here and it would work. I just loved it so much.
100%. So I really loved the scene in the Fervent Peaks where they're like describing the forest that they're in while they're trying to catch the ardent oarsmen. And then they describe the huge waterfall that's rushing, and he pushes it aside with his oar to reveal a stone, damp, dark castle. And they like describe walking up to it, and all of the little sprites are like sleeping and they have to knock so quietly. And I just like literally felt like I was on that journey with them, like walking through that eerie dark place.
Yes,
and so
I
that was
totally
my
agree.
favorite.
It was so creepy. The little, and like to your point with the little sprites everywhere, and then this guy just being like so weird with his, his just like abandoned castle. I don't know. It was so eerie, but it was so well done.
And they describe his sharp teeth and his like skin of shale stone.
Yes.
See, it wasn't the prettiest scene, but it was maybe the best world building.
It was graphic. It was very graphic. I totally agree with you. That's a good one.
Because like your scene is like, we have seen it before. We were able to say, oh, we saw it in here, we saw it in there. My scene, have you seen it before?
I mean, kinda. So I was actually picturing, do you remember in Harry Potter when Dumbledore and Harry have to go to like that like scary lake or whatever, and Dumbledore is like drinking the water, and he's like, don't, whatever you do, don't let me stop drinking this water. Like, whatever I say, don't let me stop drinking this water. That's literally, for whatever reason, that lake was in my brain of like, that was the water like in the middle of whatever this castle was, and the sprites were like the things under the fucking water, and I was like, oh. Horrific.
So what do we think? Do we give the best world building to the land we don't even remember the name of?
I don't know. I can't decide now, because clearly I loved both of them. That was actually my second one, the one that you said.
Yeah.
Especially because of the duel after. Like, I just thought that was really cool.
On the pedestal above the water with the raised cards. Okay, I think I win.
Okay, we'll give you yours. Fine.
Best setting in the story, the Fervent Peaks.
Oh, congratulations. Fervent Peaks. I would never want to go there, but good job.
The ardent oarsman needs to come back to life to accept this award. Get on up here.
Yes, please.
Okay, that leads me into our next nomination, Best Battle with the Omens.
Okay. This one's hard too, because actually it's not hard. I think for mine, her battle with the abbess was my favorite.
Yeah, that was gonna be mine too.
It's just, great, we agree on one. I loved that. Easy, no big deal. I loved that scene because it was like Sybil versus Abbess. Like, she didn't have any of the help of her friends. Like, she didn't have anyone like stepping in. Like, she knew she was strong. She knew she could do it. Like, she pushed back all of her fears, all of her Munchausens, like all of the things to just like defeat this fucking evil person. And I thought it was great. It was a great ending to the book too.
I felt like along the way with all the omens, she like learned little things about herself that like culminated in her battle with the abbess, and she had to like use all of it against her, while also being like, oh my god, this person was literally my mother figure, and I'm having to take her down for the greater good. Who do we allow to accept this award, Sybil or the abbess?
Oh god. Probably Sybil. It has to be Sybil. It's got to be our girl. Let's give it to Sister Sybil. Good work, Sister
Sybil!
Woo! Okay, next one is the side character we are most likely to lose in book 2.
Oh, okay. When we finished the book and we almost lost Bartholomew, I said to Cassie, Rory can go. They can take Rory. They can take him away. Sybil doesn't need love. She needs Bartholomew. Whatever you do, Rachel, do not take Bartholomew.
Don't take him. I actually think that Maud is going to get taken in book 2.
Why?
Because she is the one that's most interconnected to all of them and will have the most like impact on all of them, but won't have as much detrimental impact to the story, if that makes sense.
And like, I think that's where we're gonna see an even darker turn for Benji, because he's gonna have to like kill Maud. Or something like that.
You know how when she almost died in the Chiming Wood or whatever, and Benji was like unwell, like he could not handle when she was like basically comatose, like he just has such deep-seated love for her, and like obviously Rory does, obviously Sybil's like grown to love her, and so I feel like they will all be the most directly impacted by losing Maud. But I don't feel like she's so core to the story that, like, if we as readers lost her, that it would, like, ruin the entire thing, if that makes sense.
I agree with you. Like, it's not going to be a heartbreak where we're all going to revolt against Rachel.
No, like, if we lost Bartholomew, like, that would sit, I would have to sit with that for a while.
I will say, in the One Dark Window duology, Rachel did take away kind of the Bartholomew of that series.
Oh my fucking god.
And it was sad. I was like bawling my eyes out.
I don't want to hear that. The second that we almost lost Bartholomew at the end of this, I was like, no. Absolutely fucking not.
Here's another thing. Bartholomew says in the first book, like I've seen the second one.
In the first book.
He says in the first book,
continue the fan fiction.
He doesn't want to be stuck in this middle area. He said, I'm happy to go now that I know the truth. I no longer am like captured by the abyss. I've seen the world and now I'm happy to go. So I could see Rachel bringing that back in book 2 while breaking all of her readers' hearts.
I can see it too. I can't not see it. I just don't want to see it. I literally don't want to.
So, side character we're going to lose most in book 2?
I don't know. I'm going to stick with Maud. I'm sticking with my Maud call.
I think it's Bartholomew though. We have to let someone take this award, Cassie.
Who's going to take it? Is it a tie?
I think if you used your brain instead of your heart, you would say Bartholomew.
You can't just influence me to your pick when we're stuck in between two, okay?
I'm on a podcast. I'm literally an influencer.
Oh, God. I don't know.
That's my job.
I actually still, if I'm using my head, still believe Maud, because there are going to need to be some crucial tools to bring down Benji, and I think Maud is one of those. Like, he is so tied to her emotionally that it's like, I don't see how she stays alive the whole time and, like, he gets taken down. Like, I don't know.
I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
Oh, I'm going to give it to you for one reason and one reason only.
What is that?
Because you said that it makes sense for the plot because she's part of the plot but not detrimental to the plot. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Maud, come accept your award. You're not detrimental to anybody.
Hey, I said she was detrimental to the characters.
You're not detrimental
Mod,
to anybody.
you matter. Don't let her take this away from you. Emily's going into Abyss mode again.
Abyss mode activated.
Abyss mode activated. Mod, you mean nothing. Oh
Okay.
my God. Okay, next. What's next?
What is the most unhinged moment of the book?
Ooh.
I'm trying to think about this, like, not as a book of the whole, but when I was reading, like, chapter by chapter, what part of the book I was like, oh my God. And you know what it is for me? When when the diviners start to go missing, and they go missing night after night, and you're like, holy shit, and they're like nailing over the door and nailing over the windows, and somehow somebody's still getting the diviners, and Six is trying to stay awake, and she's like falling asleep on her vanity, and every night one of them gets taken, and I'm like, is this a missing girls story?
Is this Gone Girl?
Literally.
That was very unhinged. I totally agree.
Because they introduced us to, like, all of them and kind of, like, made us like them and showed us their personalities, and then they stole them.
Yeah. I don't know. I think my initial thought was when they get into the battle with the mountain sprites. And I think that was mine because that was the first time, like, you keep hearing throughout the book, like, these sprites are evil, these sprites are evil, these sprites are the root of all evil, and that was the first time that we're actually, like, faced with these sprites, and they're, like, huge, they're fucking, like, mountains attacking these people, and it was just one of those moments where I was like, oh, what the fuck, like, there are these, like, intense supernatural beings that are just, like, coming out of the, like, nature and just, like, attacking people at random because they're, like, starved for whatever they eat. Like, I just don't understand. And so I feel like that was unhinged for me because I was like, whoa, like, we were at first talking about fucking diviners and then they're drowning. And then these magical creatures are like these omens, and then they have these magical things, and then now we have these fucking sprites. It's like, what is happening? I don't understand.
Now that you say that, I'm like, did they ever wrap up the sprites?
No. And
they're coming back in book 2.
Yeah, I think that's also why it was unhinged for me, because we had that attack, and then the attack in the Chiming Wood when the tree almost killed Maud, the tree sprite. But that was literally it. And, like, otherwise it's like we weren't seeing these sprites being, like, evil and dangerous and whatever other than those moments. And so the sprite stuff was just unhinged to me in general because I was like, what is she teeing up here? Like, I don't get it. Okay,
but my point is a little bit of the same but different.
Okay.
So, they take all these diviners away from us after introducing them to us. Yeah. And remember, we were like, we're holding out hope for that they're still alive. Yeah. You're like, one is definitely still alive. And they are literally just dead. Like, not a single one of them is alive.
Yeah. They're literally just dead.
They never come back. We never get a glimpse of their life ever again. We don't get to hear them even say a goodbye to Sybil. No. Like, Sybil doesn't even ever get her goodbye. They're just gone.
No. But it shouldn't really be unhinged because she realistically was, like, teeing up that they were dead the entire time. And, like, I just refused to believe it. I was like, nope, I still have hope. I can't let go.
Does the award go to the dead diviners to give them something in the afterlife that they can live for? Or does it go to the sprites that are coming back?
Stop trying to pull on my heartstrings with the dead diviners.
This is literally their remembrance episode, and you're not going to give them an award?
Okay, sure. I'll give it to you. In memoriam for the diviners. There you go.
And the diviner that I would like to call forward to accept this award is 1.
1. You were a true homie. We love you. You didn't get a good end, but we love you.
You saw those eyes, and you were like, "I'm good to go."
You said, "I'm out. I'm solid. I don't need to live on this planet anymore."
This award's for you.
There you go. Okay, next award is Worst Betrayal.
I mean,
which I'm intrigued by.
I know, I don't want to choose the obvious, just like big betrayal at the end.
I think my worst betrayal is the one between the abbess and the gargoyle.
Yeah,
Like,
that was horrific.
she has obviously, like, traumatized and abused and all of the things, all the diviners, but, like, his story specifically just felt so horrific and so, like, I'm your mother, and then that I'm just, like, taking that love and that devotion and all the things away from you because you just started acting in a way that I don't want you to act. Like,
right.
That, for me, just, I feel like, hit me so hard. Like, harder than the obvious betrayal of Benji, like, harder than the obvious betrayal of, like, what the cathedral's been doing to the diviners, like, all of that stuff. Like, that, just, to me, I was like, oh my god, this young boy had to, like, experience this absolute just ripping out of his heart at the fucking hands of this stupid abbess, and that was horrific.
100% agree. I absolutely agree with you, and so I'm not even going to fight you, but I'm going to do a few nominations. I'm going to do a few nominations.
Well, you're not going to fight me, but you're going to do a few nominations?
Yeah, like, I know you've won, but, like, at least let's give him a nomination.
Okay. Who else is in the category? Please tell us.
Also in the category of worst betrayal is the obvious ending with Benji, but not to his friends in whole, but to Maud specifically.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Benji, it's kind of similar to the gargoyle and the abbess. It's like, she was your mother. She was your mother figure, and you just did this to her. So, nomination 1. Nomination 2. The omens to the entire population of the Stonewater Kingdom.
To everyone in the world.
They really pulled one over on you guys.
Big old magic trick. None of us saw it coming at all.
They're just taking your money, taking your work, and you're just worshiping away at them.
That's
Tricks
right.
on you.
Haha. Now you see them, now you know.
But I do agree, the worst betrayal was hearing the story of how the abbess, like, saved Bartholomew as a baby and then betrayed him in the end.
I have one more nomination, and that is the betrayal of Rory to Benji. When Rory falls in love with Sybil, he's like, I'm going to leave my entire knighthood behind. I'm leaving this life behind. I'm leaving Benji behind. Like, he fucking swore an oath to this king. And he's like, ciao, like, later. And that, I thought, was an interesting one that, like, we didn't really talk about a lot.
Is that why Benji's so pissed off?
Probably. He's like, I'm gonna punish you for that.
Because they do talk about it a little bit. When they show Benji talking to some other knights, and Sybil's like, wait, where's Rory? He's usually here. And he's like, oh, he's busy. But I think he was trying to pull, like, a little, like, Love Island alliance off on the corner. Like, we're
a survivor alliance.
Yeah, we're gonna all be in on this because I think Rory's in love with Sybil and we're gonna lose him.
Yeah, true. I think he really started to feel undermined by how Rory kind of just, like, went by his own rules, like, lived by his own accord, whatever. And I think Benji's expectation of his knights was, like, you are doing everything that I say. You are living by my codex. You're living by all of these things that I say. And Rory was just never doing that. So I feel like Benji was just, like, threatened by that.
Amazing nominations, but the gargoyle Bartholomew may come up to accept your award for the saddest
Congratulations, but also not. I'm so sorry.
Congratulations.
Here's Kathy, a free ear therapy and hugs for your win.
We have 2 more awards to give away, and before the big one of the night, let's do Best Line.
Oh, okay.
And I know what mine is, but I don't know the quote. So could you help me out? It's the one where it's like, what's a truth is a lie, isn't it?
Yeah, yes. Okay, let me find that. It's like to tell the truth is to tell a lie, isn't it?
Yes. And I don't know why, but I was literally saying that like 7 days a week while I was reading this book. To tell the truth is to tell a lie, isn't it? Literally everything in my life became a betrayal after I read that line.
Everything's a lie.
I was like walking around my house and my boyfriend would be like, I fed the dog. And I said, is it a truth or is it a lie?
Is it a lie?
Even if you're telling the truth, is it still a lie? Did you feed the dog? And my dog is like eating his kibbles while I'm like, sorry, I'm getting carried away.
Oh my god, I totally agree. That was 100% the best line in the book. And like it's just encompassed everything that happened and everything, all the like symbolism, all of the character arcs and journeys, like all of the things. I feel like that line just summed up perfectly. So
and it really made you think very much.
Yeah, I mean, it clearly made you think about if your boyfriend was feeding your dog or not. So
I mean,
it did its job.
I had to show you guys how much I was questioning everything. I was like, am I sleeping or am I awake? Am I under the Abbess's control right now, or am I living my own life?
Am I actually the Abbess?
What's the truth and what's a lie?
Who knows? Who knows? Oh my god.
Also
yeah, best line by far.
Some nominations are any line Bartholomew said the entire book.
Any phrase, any common phrase that he got wrong was absolutely just an absolute banger of a line. And I also have some nominations for Rory because he was such an emotionally like safe space for Sybil as she was going on her growth journey. And there was something that he said where he was like, you don't have to be good or useful for people to care about you, or like something along those lines, where I remember reading that and just being like, oh my god, like every woman in the world needs to hear someone tell them this. Like that is, he was just so, he had so many lines where I was like, you just get it and I love you.
Cassie, I have to tell you something. I have to tell you something in public.
Oh, in public. Let's hear it.
I don't like Rory. I think he's lying.
What?
I think that those lines he's saying are gaslighting her.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, you just read line for line the Manipulator Handbook 101. What to say to a woman to convince her you're in love with her.
No.
Yeah,
No.
and we'll
I cannot subscribe to this. I can't subscribe to this. He was not gaslighting her at any moment. If anything, she was the one that could have been gaslighting him, because he kept being like, I will do anything that you tell me. I will do anything that you say. And he does. He literally does. He backs it up with action.
I don't know. We'll get more into it in Bits of the Week. I'll let you know.
We're about to have a showdown over Rory and Bits of the Week.
Showdown. But best line does go to our sweetie pie honey bunny Bartholomew.
Okay, good. He deserves a good award after his sad
he needs
one.
a positive award. We're all clapping for this one.
Yay! Go Bartholomew.
And for the final. Oh,
no, you don't get to do this one. You've literally done every award.
I just love being a presenter. Can I just do the beginning and you can take it? For the final award of the night, we have...
I mean, finish it out.
No, you go.
No. Doodle Bob is back. Oh, you're still waiting for me. I'm sorry. We have the MVP of the book as our final award. And I think we know who this is going to.
100%.
But I do have some other nominations
of
for
course
this
you do.
award.
And I already know who that is, and I disagree.
Do you? I was going to say Sybil. But whatever.
Sneaky girl.
Do you disagree? Do you disagree? Huh?
I'll let you have that one. I'll let you have that one.
Thank you. Anyways, it's clearly the gargoyle, Bartholomew.
Bartholomew, MVP.
was just such a well-written character. He made me laugh, he made me cry, he made me think. He was just the total package, and he's exactly what we want in an MVP.
He was exactly what he said he was, the squire. He helped Sybil find his way. He helped her find herself through the journey. Yep. He opened her eyes to reality and finding happiness in darkness. Like, he was the ultimate character for me.
Yeah, he was such a beautiful soul, and I just love him so much. It has been a while since I've been genuinely attached to a book character like that, and I genuinely, throughout his just, like, emotional journey, felt so much for him in a way that I didn't even feel for Sybil, for example. And, like, we were reading about her, like, trauma and abuse in real time. And, like, just the, like, 5 pages that we listened to Bartholomew's story, I was crying the entire time.
100%.
Like, oh, my God.
And
so, yeah.
I, like, the whole Riddick storyline that was happening in Onyx Storm, where, like, everybody was obsessed with, like, the funny best friend and, like, whatever. Yeah. That's, like, all fun and games. But Bartholomew, I was like, I literally want you to be... Yeah, I want you to be my baby. Like, how do I adopt you?
Yeah, like,
or,
how
like,
do I
how
take
can
you
I make
into
you my dog? Yeah.
Yeah. My dog! Will my boyfriend feed you?
He won't. I wouldn't trust my boyfriend with Bartholomew. He's too precious.
No, I totally agree. I love him so much. And so congrats to Rachel for writing a beloved character, because he will literally stay in my brain for a long time. Like, he will not leave me for a long time.
I think we'll let Rachel accept the award on Bartholomew's behalf.
Rachel Bartholomew Gillig,
please
accept this award. Come to the front.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Wow, those were some good awards. I think we kind of captured everyone in these awards, so that worked out. A lot of participation awards for everyone.
Yeah, we really did give a lot of participation awards.
Okay, so now that we've wrapped up our award show, we need to give our host a little break, and let's get into our bits of the week. BOTW. Bits of the week.
Bits of the week. I love it. That was beautiful.
Okay, so do you want me to start? You sound like you want to throw down on Rory, so I guess we could start there.
Do we want to start our throwdown on Rory, or should we save that till the end so that we can make it through the rest of the episode?
I don't think so, because I'm pretty fired up about this implication that Rory is a bad knight who's gaslighting Sybil.
Okay, here is the theory that this comes from.
Okay.
Was Benji's betrayal shocking on purpose? Or not shocking on purpose? Like, we kind of saw it coming. They gave us clues that it was happening. You weren't that surprised when he did the ultimate betrayal at end, because Rachel was trying to distract you from another betrayal that's coming or already has happened and hasn't been revealed yet.
I feel like Benji's betrayal was kind of the thing that she was trying to distract from the whole book.
That's like, what you think.
Even if it was... What kind of 4D chess are you playing here? I don't understand. The reason that I am convinced that Rory is not going to have this horrific betrayal of Sybil is because this is a duology. Like, you could probably convince me if this was like a 5-book series and there was like potential that Rory would like come into power by defeating Benji, and then he would become this like evil ruler, like whatever.
You literally just laid it out.
But that's not happening in a duology. Like, she's not all of a sudden gonna be like in love with this evil ruler, and then it's like, oh, the series is done. Everyone go home. Everyone go to your cars. Like, no, there's no fucking way. Like, she's already teed up the big betrayal so that in book 2 she can wrap everything up.
Okay, hear me out. So, Benji stabbed Rory, but not anywhere fatal, and didn't let him, like, die, because Rory is actually in on the betrayal. And he's betraying both Sybil and Benji at the same time. So he's convinced Benji, I'm on your side, let's get Sybil there so you can be the ruler of the kingdom. But then he knows Sybil is going to take Benji down on the inside and wants to marry Rory. So then Rory and Sybil get married and he takes the throne from Sybil. And you know who's going to find out this is happening? The gargoyle, while he's alone with him. And then and the gargoyle is going to stop it from happening. But I think that Rory's not endgame.
I think that Rory's endgame. And I cannot get on board with this theory at all. I just, like, if she did that in the second book, that would be the messiest fucking end to a series that I would ever read. I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, Rachel? Like, this makes no sense.
Not if Sybil ends up, like, with self-confidence, self-empowerment on the throne by herself with the gargoyle right next to her. And Moth leading her army.
Okay, so you are just trying to end this duology with, like, females on the throne and all the guys are just, like, dead because they betrayed all the women.
Exactly. Men are messy like that.
They are messy like that, I agree. But I don't think that that is what's going to happen. I think if that was the case, this would not be a romantasy series.
We'll find out.
This would be a twisted fantasy, let me tell you.
A dark fantasy. We'll find out.
We will.
Only Rachel knows. Rachel, if you want to slide into my DMs, not our book, but DM, my DM, and tell me what happens.
Her personal DM.
I'll accept your invite.
Let us know if you want to collab on a post, and we'll keep you posted. Oh my god. Okay. I think we're at an impasse on this one. I respect your hustle for womankind, and I do agree that I think Sybil will be on the throne at the end of book 2, but I think that Rory will be by her side. And that'll
Only the internet will be able to tell us the truth. They're all going to come rushing to tell us their opinion.
Put this theory on Reddit and let me know how it goes.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep. Oh my god. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Did you have any bits other than Rory?
Oh, I have a lot, but I'm giving you space and time to have your own. If you want them.
I genuinely think I'm still processing this whole Rory ordeal, so please go on with your next one.
Hit you with another one.
Okay.
Do you think that Sybil's repeated drownings and closeness to death might bring magical side effects that we haven't seen in book 2? Like, probably. Maybe when she... And it has to do, I think, with, like, when... We don't know what the full power of the water is yet. And Sybil is still full of this water. And she's been drowned so many times that I think she could have some magical element that hasn't been uncovered yet.
Yeah, I think that we definitely are going to learn more about Sybil's, like, power and her potential. Like, I think we're just scratching the surface of it in this book because she was basically, like, freeing herself from her shackles that she had been mentally and physically in, and I think now that she is free, it's like there's just such untapped potential, and to your point, she's just full of this fucking water that we know basically nothing about. So like there's so much that I feel like that has to come out, and when there's this obvious power dynamic struggle between her and Benji that's probably going to happen, I feel like that's going to like help unlock some of it way sooner than maybe she would have thought.
Okay, I asked this to you one time in another episode, and I said, are the gargoyles kind of like the sprites? I was like, are the gargoyles sprites? Do you remember me saying that?
No, but I believe that you said that. And
I know they're diviners, but I think that they're like treated like the sprites are. Like they're these beings that are made of the other things of the land, and they're meant to like protect, and they're starved and only given the water, all these things. And so I think that Sybil, it would be like part sprite because she's also been starved and given this water, whatever. And then she is going to lead an army of sprites.
Huh. Wow. Okay. Holy shit. A lot there. I cannot say that there's no validity to that because we don't know anything about the sprites. And that was actually going to be one of my bits, was like just the sprites in general and just this like tension with them that we know basically nothing about other than them just historically being painted as these like evil beings that have like run amok on this world. But there was multiple moments where they would talk about like, does that make sense? Like, if they weren't starved, would they act like this? Are they being intentionally starved? Like, why are we treating them this way when we know that they're just gonna lash out and act fucking feral towards everyone because they're starving? And so I would be interested in like how she's going to weave that into this next part of the book. And to your point, like maybe it's Sybil just unleashing them as her army. That could 100% be
because we don't know the history of the sprites. Like we don't know who they were before they were enslaved, and they're 100% enslaved right now. And so I think Sybil could like free them, and then they would become her army.
Yeah,
against Rory and Benji.
I totally. No! I very much see her, like, enlisting these sprites and, like, finding out that they are actually, like, good beings or whatever, and, like, using them to defeat Benji. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't know if she is part sprite. Like, I don't know what to think about that, honestly.
I want to know more history about... We don't know enough history about the water, why it's there, why it's magical. Yeah. What if the sprites lived there before the cathedral was there?
Yeah, maybe. And maybe they were painted as evil because the abbess didn't want them anywhere near the water.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what they're actually starved for, is the water.
Yeah. So, I'm just saying, more to come, more to come.
More to come on these sprites. These damn sprites.
Rachel is literally going to give me a cease and desist on this episode because I'm uncovering all of her theories for book 2.
Emily's fan fiction is back. Welcome.
She's gonna be like, Emily, you literally told everybody the concept of my second book. You can't do that online.
You gotta stop.
On your large platform.
Stop. So that actually leads me into my other bit that I have around the magic system. So I think the Loomstone was buried when they tore down the cathedral. I think Benji has all of the other artifacts with him. Obviously, the spring water was also buried.
Does he not? We know the Loomstone was buried?
I'm pretty sure it was with the abbess, right?
Was she holding it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
She was like using it in their final battle.
But do you have to throw it to use it?
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah, if you're using it to, like, destroy stuff.
That's what I was thinking. I think she threw it.
But I don't know. I don't think Benji had it at the end, though.
Okay. So
I think he had all the other artifacts. So my musing around this is, like, do we think that Rachel is going to evolve the magic system at all in book 2? Or do we think she's going to keep it the same and we're just going to learn more about the spring water, the sprites, whatever? Because it's like we said, it's been kept very basic so far.
That's actually got me a little shocked and silenced because I've been so focused on the water, but I didn't think about the other artifacts.
Yeah.
What the heck are they doing?
They're hanging out with Benji somewhere.
And do people not even know what their capacity is yet?
No. Yeah. So I'm intrigued. My thought was that she isn't going to evolve on it and we're just going to learn more about the water. And maybe Sybil is going to have some, like, extra ability to use these items, like the coin and the inkwell and all of that stuff when she, like, learns how to unlock more of her power. But I don't know.
I could see that.
That was something that I was noodling on, where I was like, I wonder how she is going to, like, keep this magic either going or how she's going to build on it.
Who has the coin?
Benji, I think.
He
or
has
maybe
them all.
Rory still has it. Did Rory lose the coin in the last battle?
I can't remember.
I can't either.
We'll have to put up a disclaimer right here on this episode. Where are the artifacts?
Where are the artifacts? Someone... That's us looking for the artifacts.
Because I'm wondering, so, like, Sybil has all the water in her, and so, like, I wonder if she got her hands on all the artifacts at one time, because have we seen a single person hold all the artifacts at once yet?
No, that's a good point. And that's very, like, Harry Potter, all the Deathly Hallows coming together and, like, having a new superpower. That's a good point.
So I wonder
like, maybe...
if she...
Oh, go ahead.
She gathers all of them at one point, and, like, it doesn't work for Benji because he doesn't have the water, but Sybil has the water within her.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Shit. These artifacts.
I forgot about them. I feel like a minor archaeologist right now.
A minor. Just a wee archaeologist.
Trying to figure out these ancient artifacts that nobody knows the history of.
Just an apprentice archaeologist.
Okay, so do you think that she'll go back to any of these towns to try to find out more? Like, what if she goes back to where the harried scribe was and, like, goes through his library to find out more?
She might. I do feel like there is going to have to be more journeying in the second book. And, like, I do feel like we didn't spend a lot of time in the castle, so maybe there's going to be more time spent there. But I do agree, like, she's going to have to go back to more of the, like, origin of where these things came from to better understand it. But I don't know that it's going to be, like, in those locations per se, as much as it might just be, like, her going to that limestone where the spring was, for example.
True.
And, like, replaying the entire backstory and, like, in real time.
Very true. I'm very excited to see more into, like, what did they call the siege? Like, the royal castle and, like, the town. And I want to know more about what those people are like. Because we meet all the people of the hamlets, but, like, what are just the regs like?
Who knows? They were so creepy and, like, horned up on the diviners and how, like, holy they were. So I feel like we're going to get a lot of that flavor still.
I agree.
We're going to get some new side characters introduced, I have to imagine.
I think so, too. Because Sybil's going to need friends.
Yeah. Yeah, on the inside.
There's going to be, like, a lady in waiting.
Yeah.
100%.
I agree. Oh my god. Okay, these are some good predictions, though. There is a lot to chew on there. Rachel.
Yeah. Rachel.
Holy shit. Damn.
Only a duology? Are you sure? A trilogy,
Are you
maybe.
sure? Are you sure
trilogy.
this is not an 8-book series? Are you sure? Can you confirm? Well, let me tell you, I am excited to learn more whenever the fuck we get the second
100%.
book. Probably in, like, 2027. Okay, so should we go into our report card, our final report card?
Yes, let's do our final report card.
Okay, so should we start with our overall rating and then go into the specific ratings, or the reverse?
Reverse.
Okay, reverse. Okay.
Reverse.
Reverse.
What is that from? Bop it. Pull.
So we're gonna rate the book on spice. Okay. People on the internet do, like, chili peppers for this. Are we doing that, or are we just saying, like, out of 5 stars? Okay, cool.
Yeah, chili peppers.
All right. This was a like 1.5 chili pepper for me.
I was gonna say 2 chili pepper. Like,
okay, we can round up to 2.
I don't even remember much detail about the sex scene.
Oh, really?
No. Besides that, she was so desperate for an orgasm.
Aren't we all? Emily, cut Sister Sybil a fucking break.
The light at the end of the tunnel was all she was looking at. And that's all I know.
Oh, I thought it was was a very sweet sex scene. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, it was just sweet to me. It felt a little closed door.
It was very loving. It was like mid-open door. Like, it was like a cracked door scene, I would give it.
Yeah, like almost like you're like peeking in, but you can't see everything.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was very sweet. That's why I gave it a 1.5, because, like, otherwise they didn't really do anything else, and they were, like, kissing a lot, and they were very, like, intimate, but in that way, but not, it wasn't, like, full space.
I gave it a 2 chili pepper because of the beeswax scene. I felt like it was very sensual.
It was very sensual. I totally agree. But also something like that, I was like, that could have been in a YA book.
I don't know about that. Do you want your children reading that scene?
I mean, were you not?
I think
were you not basically reading that scene when we were in high school?
Maybe Twilight, yeah. Maybe the Twilight scene.
Twilight Breaking Dawn, when they were literally having sex on their honeymoon.
And then they went home and they had a sex marathon because they couldn't stop having sex.
Oh my god. Yeah, like, think about that, okay? And then tell me this beeswax scene wouldn't be in a YA book.
Okay, I'll give you that. So maybe 1.5 chili peppers.
Yeah, it was light spice, which I think that's, Rachel Gillig doesn't write a lot of spice, right? Like, in the Shepherd King duology, I don't think that was very prevalent either, which makes sense.
No,
I think
just
she kind of focuses on the romance. Yeah, soft romance. Speaking of which, what are we rating the book on romance? I would rate it like a 4 stars on romance, personally. 4 out of 5.
Well, you know I don't believe Rory, so...
You know she hates Rory, so this is a biased review.
This is a biased review because I don't believe Rory. What is a lie? What is the truth? And so I'm going to say 3 stars.
Wow. Okay. Well, for everyone who likes Rory, which is everyone but Emily, I think that we would go towards a 4. I think it was never like an enemies to lover type or lovers type of thing. Like, I think he very quickly kind of saw Sybil for who she was, and like, he definitely was annoyed by her, and Sybil was like kind of a dick to him like a lot of the time, so he was just kind of like rising to the occasion banter wise. But I felt like he was always very respectful towards her, was like always looking out for her. And then when they became actually like romantically involved, like he was just trying to like support her and coming into herself and believing in herself. And I love that.
I liked the romance more at the beginning when they were like more enemies to lovers, when they were more like messing with each other and being funny and like, taunting her to like tackle him so they could touch bodies.
Oh.
But then like, I felt like once they were like actually in love, it was like a little too puppy for me.
Oh, I thought that their like emotional intimacy was actually very mature. Like, I thought that the way that they interacted with each other as like lovers was actually really great.
I guess if you believe him, I could see that.
If you I do believe him. So there you go.
Okay.
I stand with Rory. Let it be heard here.
Hashtag I stand with Rory. Okay, plot twist. What would you rate this book for plot twists?
I think I would probably give it like a 3 out of 5.
Same.
Because I feel like we said this in our last episode, but like a lot of the plot twists were fairly predictable, but what wasn't predictable was why the plot twist happened, or like the depth to the plot twist, like the context behind it. And like, I really actually enjoyed that, because while it wasn't as like the entire time, it was like, oh shit, like I did not realize that was going to happen because of that thing. So I actually thought that was very well done, but it wasn't like gasp.
No, I have to give it a 3 because I actually never gasped. I like literally never had a gasp. So
not one gasp was gusped.
No, so I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay, that's fair. That's very fair. Okay, next one is lore. I'm gonna have to give this one a 5 for sure.
Same! I was gonna give it a 5 too!
Let's go!
Woo!
Oh Yeah, I mean, I just, like, every part of this, the way that she built this world and the way that she built the magic system, like, I thought it was so well done. And I was so just wrapped up in it the entire time that I was reading the book. And I feel like we keep saying this, but, like, you literally feel like you're in it and you can see these things and you can see these characters. And it was just, I don't know, it was very well done. Like, even with a simple magic system, too, like, it was still very unique in the way that it contributed to the story and the way that they used it. So, yeah, it was so good.
Very unique. The whole thing with, like, the artifacts and the cathedral and the sprites and the different castles and hamlets they went to, and, like, oh, I just loved it all. I felt like I was immersed in the world, and I felt like I loved the Heartsword Weaver story. I loved Maud's story about her mom and her grandma and passing down this knighthood of women. Like, you know, I didn't love Bartholomew's story, but it helped to describe, like, the lore of the diviners, and I was like, oh my god, this all makes so much sense. I loved it. Five.
Chef's kiss. Okay, and the last one is on cry factor. Yeah. I am going to give this one a 4, honestly. Like, there were just so many things to cry over in this book. Like, the diviners, the gargoyles, Bartholomew, the Heartsword Weaver. Like, there was so much just pain and anguish and trauma built into all of these people's stories, and then they all, except for Benji, unfortunately, come out the other end just like a better fucking person or being. Like, I don't know. I shed a lot of good tears at this book.
I think I'm gonna only give it 3 teardrops because
teardrops on my guitar.
I felt a lot of sadness for, like, the Heartsword Weaver and for, like, you know, Rory's story of also being abandoned. And I felt a lot of sadness for them, but, like, I only cried when the gargoyle told his story. That's the only time I cried.
Yeah.
So if I'm only crying at, like, one scene in the whole book, I think, but that one scene I'd give 3 teardrops.
The thing is I don't cry a lot in books, which is wild.
I feel like that's what's the truth and what's a lie, Cassie? Because you definitely cry all the time. At every book.
I cry all the time. I'm not at every book. That's not true. I'm trying to think of the last time I cried. When was the last time I cried in a book? I'm trying to think.
Oh my god, you've definitely cried at books this year.
I literally think the last time was when I was reading Onyx Storm and Quinn was dying. And Imogen was like talking about it.
Yeah.
But I think that was it. Maybe I just haven't read a lot of sad books this year.
Yeah, I need you to look back at your list and tell me that this was true.
I've been sticking to a lot of not traumatic books this year, I think, as a coping mechanism. So, there you go.
That's true. I, on the other hand, am comparing all book sadness to reading Kristen Hanna's The Nightingale a couple months ago. And
yeah, that's not fair. That is not fair. The Nightingale is cry factor is quite literally 20,000 teardrops on my guitar over that fucking book.
That was like an off the meter cry factor, and so like everything after, like I was crying literally that entire book, and so everything after that's like 3 or below.
Okay, that's hard. That should not be your baseline. The Nightingale should absolutely not be a baseline.
It needs to be like an outstanding data point. An outlier.
You know what? That's fine. Live your truth, live your lie, whatever. Okay, so what is your overall rating?
I think that until about 90% into this book, it was 5 stars for me. But after the last 10%, because I wasn't a big fan of the ending and I never gasped, I was never shocked, I give it a 4.
Wow, she wanted the shock and awe, Rachel.
I did. I wanted to, like,
she wanted Tom Cruise in a helicopter.
100%.
That was the only way that was getting to 5 stars.
I needed a little more shock and awe.
That's fair. I get that. I am definitely giving it a 5. Like, I I think the beauty of her writing, the like incredible world building, the incredible characters and like the character development, like very much gave me so much that I didn't feel like I needed the big twists and the big bangs and the big like fire scene, you know? Like I just felt like there was so much amazing things happening in this book that I was like, I finished it and I was like, wow, that just felt good. Like that felt amazing.
I thought it was a good story too, and I even recommended it to somebody, but I was like, it's just a good story. Like, it's just a good story. I was able to put it down and walk away for days at a time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like desperate to know what the ending was. I wasn't desperate to finish it. I was like, this is a really good story. It's cozy. I loved reading it. I'm immersed in the world, but like I could read this. I could read 5 chapters, put it down, come back a week later. So that's why I can't give it a 5.
But I guess I don't equate like desperation to finish a book to it being 5 stars or not.
Oh my god, when I'm like literally setting my alarm to wake up earlier to read a book because I'm so desperate to read it, I'm like 5 stars.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. I feel like if something's 5 stars and it like takes me a little bit longer and like I want to revel in it and I want to like take more of it in, like that could still be 5 stars for me, like very easily.
You know what another 5-star rating for me is when you make yourself slow down because you want it to last longer. And I didn't do that with this book.
I did that with this book. I was like, you need to pace yourself and like take this stuff in because there's just so much happening and it's so good.
And I was like, after like chapter like 22, I was like, let's just get to Benji's downfall.
Let's just get Benji killed. And that's it. No, I loved it. I just thought it was such a beautiful, well-written story that is so unique. Like, I think I have gotten to the point with romantasy where I'm rarely in this position where I'm like, I have not read a story like this. Like, this is, like, truly one of one. And I felt that way about this book. And I feel like that is also what it makes it 5 stars for me, where I was like, oh, shit. Like, I put this down and I was like, wow, I won't read something like this at any point this year again. And I read, like, 4 trillion romantasy books, too.
I do see that.
Rachel,
I see 5
it.
stars for you. Yeah, I see 5 stars for you.
I see 5 stars for you. Thank you. I see 4 stars for you.
Thank you. Thank you for the validation. Okay, let's get into our final fan cast, because throughout all these episodes, we've been dropping hints of who's him, who's that, who's this. Yep. And I think it's time to say once and for all, and let's just do Sybil and Rory.
Okay. So, for Sybil and Rory, I had my first inclination of my fan casts, and I think our first episode, and I think at the end, I'm still standing by those fan casts.
And let's hear it. Say it again for the audience.
So for Sybil, remember young Rhaenyra in House of Dragon?
That's mine. Millie Alcock. Millie Alcock.
Yes, I just could not get her out of my head the entire book. Like, she was Sybil for me. And, like, cut her hair into a bob and put her in that role immediately. Because she would just crush it.
Yes.
She was just, I don't know why that was, like, and maybe it was because Rhaenyra's hair in House of the Dragon was silver, but, like, I don't know why, she just embodied also Sybil's entire
attitude,
vibe and essence. Yeah.
And I also think Millie Alcock is beautiful and gorgeous, but she's definitely a unique beautiful, and I also see that for Sybil too. Like, she's not just like your everyday fitness model on Instagram.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I feel like she has, like, a unique, like, body, a unique face, like, just a unique, like, disposition about her that I feel like she would be able to play Sybil in just such a beautiful way. So, she really stayed.
Also just watched Millie Alcock in this show called The Sirens on Netflix, and she plays, like, a modern-day woman, and I still stand by my cast.
Wow, okay. Yeah. That is big time.
Yep.
Those are high marks. Okay, Millie. Watch out for this.
You got it. The role is yours.
Congrats. You're really doling out a lot on this episode.
We can be your agents.
You're all welcome.
My Rory is not going to be your Rory.
No, because my Rory is still the lead singer of All American Rejects.
So crazy. I need everybody to immediately Google what he looks like in his comeback tour right now, and you're gonna be like, Cassie.
Okay, no, don't Google that version of him, because you know that's not the version of him I'm talking about. I am talking about him when he's like peak All American Rejects, like at doing his thing on their regular tours when they were popular. Look up that version of him and then tell me that I'm wrong.
Okay, tell her she's wrong, please, everybody.
No, because Emily has not looked up what he looked like in his peak. She's old. She's tainted by 2025, this man.
Everybody online bully Cassie in the comments. It's not him.
My God. Literally going Abyss mode immediately. She can't help herself.
Okay, my fan cast.
She's like, turn this girl into a gargoyle in the comments.
You would be such a cute gargoyle. I would keep you on my desk.
Oh God, I'm afraid.
Okay. So my fan cast for Rory
Who's yours?
Is going to be this very specific image. Okay, so I'm gonna need you to pop this image up on the screen when you're doing editing, but there's this image from the Canterbury Tales of a knight that rides into a like little village, and he's on horseback, and he has his knight hood on, and he never uncovers his face, and that was Rory the entire time for me.
So, literally a faceless knight.
Yes.
What?
I don't know what his face looks like.
Oh my God.
If I had to guess what his face looked like, maybe because just because of the earrings, Rune Dannon from Crescent City, because the earrings.
No, absolutely not. Oh my God.
But he's really the faceless knight from the Canterbury Tales.
I literally was just going to Google all of this as you were talking, and I did it before you said he was faceless, and I was like, I'm looking at cartoons at this point.
Yeah, they are cartoons. Well, they're actually paintings because it's like 1080.
They are paintings. Yes.
But it's a painting of a man. I think he has a lance or something, and he's like on horseback. That's right.
Well, there you all have it. Rory is actually a faceless knight. He doesn't actually have a fan cast for Emily because he doesn't have a face.
Kendra, you just like a character more than I like him.
Literally pick up anyone off the street and he could play Rory.
100%.
Your grocery store person could play Rory. There you go. Enjoy.
He's wearing a helmet the whole time.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's wrap it up with who we would recommend this book to.
Oh, I feel very passionate about this.
Okay.
Because
take the floor.
Because I, like I said earlier, like loved YA. I was a huge YA fantasy reader, and part of that was because I read for escapism, and I love to be like fully immersed in that world to the point where like I could look up from my book and my house could be on fire and I like forgot. Like, I literally can't remember anything that's happening out in the world because I'm just so immersed in this book. And I think right now, with, like, everything going on in the world, this is the perfect book for that. So if you're a past YA lover, you want escapism, you want to forget for a little bit, this is your book.
Wow. Okay. The YA lover specifically is really that I didn't see that coming.
Yep.
I see the escapism. I think if you are a fan of like literary fiction and you can get down with some fantasy, you can get down with some magic, I think this is such a good book for you to read. Obviously, anyone who reads romantasy would literally eat this shit up, but I would actually recommend this to a lot of my friends who do not read this genre, who just really appreciate like really good prose, really good like banter back and forth, really good character development, like really rich stories, because I feel like that's what this gives. And so I would say if you are that type of reader, this is actually something that you would really enjoy.
I agree with you. It's a good dip into fantasy because they are just like humans at the end of the day. Like the gargoyle isn't and the omens aren't, but like they don't have like wings and fangs and like things you have to like wrap your head around.
Right. Right. Yeah. Like I think the like simple magic system paired with like how beautifully she wrote the story, how beautifully she built the world, like all of that stuff. Like I don't think that you need to be like a massive fan of fantasy to read this and really enjoy it. So yeah, I think those are the people I would go with on top of the YA lovers.
Yeah.
Love
Congratulations, Rachel. This was a wonderful book, and I think that you should write until the end of time.
I agree, and dare I say this might be my lead favorite book of 2025 so far.
Oh my god.
Dare I say.
Cassie's trying to leak into her bingo board and use
I'm
this
leaking.
as top 2025 read.
You better believe it. You better believe it. Which also tees up that we will be playing bingo on, I believe, our next episode. And
yep.
I can't remember which squares we're filling, honestly.
One of the squares is favorite side character, and it's gonna be pressing not to use Night in the Moth and the Gargoyle on that square.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. Okay, there's gonna have to be some strategy in there.
Yep.
We'll see if I read anything in between then. Will help my plight. But anyways, thank you for joining us on this read along of this beautiful, beautiful book. Please leave any sort of fun experiences that you had, favorite quotes, favorite parts of the book in the comments, because we'd love to read that along with you. But otherwise, we'll see you next week, same time, same place. Bring your blankets, bring your book boyfriends, and we'll see you then.
See ya!
Woo!
Woo!